Hey guys, how are you? This is Nicole from Nikki Sabo Spot, where we take our ambitions seriously but not ourselves. So today we're going to be doing something a little different. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make surgical fabric masks. Okay, with a little insert, a little hole in the, a little opening right here for a filter. Okay, so pretty much I'm going to be using 100% tightly woven cotton fabric and shoelaces. And I have a sewing machine here, so I'm going to use that to show you, but you don't necessarily have to use a sewing machine. You can do it by hand. However, sewing machine makes it a little faster. So just gonna show you kind of roughly how this fits. You tie on the top. No, I'm not gonna show you all the way because I don't feel like doing that. And then you tie on the bottom like so. Now, why is this necessary? Well, whether or not you want to try and utilize these for your family, your friends, your loved ones, or if you want to make these to donate, I figured this would be a really good time to try and share this information and show you. I've been kind of cranking them out lately, so I'll kind of share what I've learned over the last day or so in trying to learn how to make these. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get that 100% tightly woven fabric. This is a little off measurement wise, but I just kind of wanted to show you roughly this is what you're going to be looking at size wise, but it's going to be 16 inches long by about 8.5 inches wide. So you're going to flip it so the bottom side is exposed, and you're going to fold it over maybe about 1/2 inch or so roughly on either end. Pin it. Okay, so you're going to do that on one side, pin it, do that on this side, flip it over, pin it again on the shorter side, and then run through and stitch it. I'm not going to do that because I'm not using this fabric because, again, this is a little off. This isn't the right size, but I wanted to show that to you. Okay, after both sides are stitched, like roughly so, okay, on either end, what you are going to be left with is you're going to fold that in half. Okay, again, also inside out. You're going to fold that inside out on both sides. Now, I had done this previously, but the last video everybody was like screaming, so I'm making another one. So this is actually already stitched, but I pinned it again to show you exactly what I mean. All right, so on either side, right over here, I have 2 pins, and over here I have 2 pins. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because you want to leave a hole in the middle because this is your filter hole. Also, this is going to be where you turn your garment in right side out, okay? So normally I would show you by going through and stitching. I would back stitch on this end, stitch through to about here, and then back stitch again. Okay, so this is the only area that you're going to stitch. And you're going to remove any excess, cut that off, come over here, do the same thing. So just slide it a little bit further down, stitch, back stitch, come all the way down into about here, do the same thing, back stitch to kind of seal it off. All right, then what you're looking at is you are looking at this. You're going to kind of position it so you have this opening in the middle here, okay? I am using shoelaces. These happen to be 45 inch, I think I want to say 45 inch. Preferably you want to use the 54 inch. That'll give you a little bit more wiggle room. The longer shoestring length is better for, both men and women, whereas, typically, I don't want to generalize, but typically the women are going to have smaller heads. So 45 is kind of pushing it, but this is what I had, so this is what I'm working with. Okay, so you want to take a shoelace, 45 inches long, preferably 54 if you can find it, but 45 inch long is what I have here. I'm going to fold it in half, and from here, from the end down, I'm going to measure about 12.5 inches or so, and then I'm going to use the remaining portion, this inside portion. I'm going to kind of, after this, I'm going to cut here, and then I'm going to be left with 4 pieces. All right, I have some right here just to show you. All right, so here are my 2 pieces. These longer pieces, all right, these are the sides that, you know, you string your shoes, or you lace your shoes. There we go, use your words, Nicole, right? These are going to be the top, whereas these shorter pieces are going to be for the bottom. Because if you think about it, it's going to tie in the back behind your neck. You don't need as long of a piece of string. So I'm going to tie these off so they don't fray, as I've done here, just to show you. And then I'm going to set them to the side. Now, I'm going to pick my garment up again. And which side doesn't really matter. You just want to keep it consistent. So the lace up side, I'm going to kind of go through like so. And then that little frayed side over here at the end, I'm going to kind of pull that through and pin that. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Do you see what I did there? You see how this is kind of sticking out through the end, through the end. So this is basically a big loop, and I just fed that through there. The only thing that you want to really keep in mind here is that you want to feed this inside, okay, because you don't want to end up going through your sewing machine and then stitching the other portion of your lace. You just want to keep it consistent on the other side as well. So the lace portion, you want it to also be on the top. If you're designating this as your top, you want to keep it consistent. So lace on the top. And then you would pin it like so. All right, let me just pin this quick and I'll show you what I'm going to do here. All right, so either side, the lace up portion up here, and then I'm going to put a pin on this midsection here. Okay, I'm going to flatten these out so it doesn't bunch up, so you don't have, bunched up edges or whatever. I'm going to put one in the middle, and then I'm going to put the shorter pieces, I'm going to thread them through and do the exact same thing that I did with the top portion. I'm going to do that at the bottom. All right, so what you're going to be left with is something that looks very much so like this. You have pin here, and pin here, all right? All those laces are on the inside. This side I already stitched. This side I didn't. All right, this side's already pinned. But the laces are stuck inside there. So what I'm going to do is I will run through here, and I will just do a little bit of sewing so that you can see what I mean. I don't know if you can see that. Turn it here. Okay, so now one of the things that you want to keep in mind as you're going through doing this is you want to back stitch over that lace area. Go back over. This is bunched up. All right. Lowering that down, stitch over again. Now I like to put the lace. See a little collection back there. Okay. I like to put the laces at the very bottom and the very top. I'm just noticing you end up with a better fit that way. Okay, so I'm going to feed this through, cut the excess, turn you towards me, lift you up a bit, okay, and then you're all stitched up. You're like, oh, great, now we're all stitched up. Now what do? Well, you have this hole here. You feed everything through, you push it all through, and then as you pull it through, you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, what you're left with is something very similar to this. See what I mean about the top portion? This is the top, all right? This is the inside because the hole is there, and here is the outside of this. Let me get this out of the way so I can show you what I mean. All right, now I started pleating. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, I started pleating this one right here. All right, where you just basically go through, and I'm actually going to do this one over again. If you can see, flip it over, not flip it over, but kind of pinch it on the edges and bunch it towards you to create the pleats. Now I'm rushing through this a little bit just to show you, but this is kind of what you're going to be left with for the most part. Now take your time with the pleats because they could be a little tricky to get them right, but this is basically what you're going to be looking with. So you pin usually about 2 pins on either side, and then run that through and stitch that. At the end, what you're looking at is something very similar to this. If you can see the stitching, you also want to make sure that you back stitch the top, the bottom, you know, kind of go all the way through to secure that stitch, to secure that hold. Okay. So again, you know, they're looking for everybody to be wearing masks now. Masks are not something that are readily available to most of the population. They're really difficult to come by at this moment in time. So this is a great alternative to your standard surgical mask, especially if you can find a filter to put inside of it. Also, hospitals are very much so looking for these to wear over top of the N95 masks that they've been issued. So if you're looking to make them for your family, if you're looking to make them for yourself, your friends, whoever, or if you're looking to donate to the hospitals, this is a wonderful option to do so. Okay, this is a wonderful way to do it. So if you have any questions, please hit me up. Please ask me. I'll be happy to answer any questions that I can. One other side note, if I can find if you don't have shoelaces, another alternative would be to utilize strips of fabric, like fabric remnants from the fabric that you're utilizing for the mask. However, I will say that I tried that first, and it is incredibly time consuming because you basically have to fold it over a couple of times before, pin it and then stitch it. So it can be a little tricky to do that, but definitely an option as well. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I will be happy to answer them. All right. Thank you so much. Take care, guys. Have a great day.